Just like having a real dog, paper-made pups require patience, so take your time putting them together, especially with some of the pups that have finer details, such as Baker. You can either remove the whole page from the book or go piece by piece. Be careful removing the pieces from the book. Some pages and individual pieces may be easier than others to remove. Take your time and be sure to push down on one side and pull up as you work your way around the piece. This is what a score looks like. Make sure you fold all of them before starting to put a pup together. Gently open the tab holes before attempting to insert the tab. This will make inserting the tabs much easier and prevent the paper from bunching or splitting. Paper-made tabs are designed to be wider at the middle to ensure a secure fit. Generally, the tabs fit better when inserted at an angle. Assembling the body first will help to visualize the construction of each individual pup, helping to bring context to some of the pup's other parts. Now feel free to take your pup for a walk. Although Larry may look a little sleepy, he's always up for a hunt or playtime. He's really fun to assemble. Just make sure to open the tab holes on his head before starting to put it together. You may also find it easier to attach his snout before folding up the rest of his head. Using your finger, give the top of his head a nice smooth roll over it. Then carefully insert his droopy ears. Use the two large tabs on the side to complete the assembly of Larry's head. Make sure that you open Oliver's eyebrow and tail tab holes before starting to assemble him. It's also best to insert the eyebrows and tail before closing up the head or body. Aside from that, it's just a walk in the park. Sam's tabs are extra fluffy, so be sure to open tab holes before inserting them. Give the scores around his hair a good hard press as well. This will ensure that he maintains his stylish signature look with his floppy mop. Assembling Shane requires a gentle touch. Be mindful of the smaller tab holes for his ears and tail. You may find it easiest to insert Shane's ears before fully assembling his head. It's also worth noting that Shane's chest has some extra dimension to it, so be sure to fold in the scores around that area. This long interior tab will be used to attach his head to his body. Pull the tab through the opening, and then go have some fun. Floyd's fantastic at herding the flock, but just be extra careful when opening the tab holes around his eyes and ears. Don't let Floyd's expression fool you. He still loves to relax and cuddle, too. As with all paper pups, pre-folding all of the scores on Raylene is very important. The scores on her feet give her stability, and the ones around her head will help it all come together. As opposed to some other pups, leaving her body partially unfinished will help when attaching the head. Keep her bottom flap open so that her head tabs can be pulled through. Finally, close up the bottom, tuck in her legs, and attach the ears. And it looks like she's caught some dinner. Dakota won't leave you out in the cold, as long as you carefully loosen the tab holes around her neck and on her legs first. These two tabs will overlap to form one neck tab, completing the assembly of her head. You may also find it easier to insert her head before fully assembling her body. Finally, adjust her legs and get ready to play out in the snow. You may notice that Baxter has a couple tabs on his head that are unlike the others. These will be used to attach the head to the body. Baxter's adorable little look is achieved by folding in the scores between his eyes. Carefully loosening this tab hole will make inserting Baxter's head much easier. Now he's camera ready. Baker is an artsy little pup that will reward you for your patience. Take your time separating each of Baker's beautiful long locks. Make sure to fold over the hair sections before fully assembling his body to help him achieve his cool ragdoll look. Bartholomew is always there when you need him. Attach Bart's snout and ears before closing up the tab holes near the back of his head. He'll be by your side in no time. Zoe is always up for a cup of English breakfast, as will you be after completing her simple assembly. Just make sure to loosen the tab hole for her cute little tail, and you'll be enjoying tea time in no time. Frankie may be small and low to the ground, but he's big on character and fun features. Before you attach his head to his body, give his long chest flap a roll over your finger. You may also find it easiest to insert the bottom chest tab first before completing the assembly. Now it's time to go and play with this hot dog. Assembling Smudge is a lot easier than his security jobs, but here's a tip that might help you along. It's best to assemble his head before finishing his body. Insert the tab to attach his head and then complete the assembly of his body. Now attach his perky ears and he'll be ready to watch your back. This British pup always keeps an open mind. That's why his head consists of two parts. Attach the side piece to fully construct Sherman's head. Insert his soft fluffy ears and prepare for playtime. This sweet and cuddly pup will be your new best friend, just as long as you make sure to insert this tab as shown to securely attach his head. Insert his tongue and prepare for lots of puppy kisses. This tough-looking pup is rock and roll all the way. Follow along and be sure to fold his jowls over to achieve his no-nonsense look. Don't let the spiked collar fool you. He's as lovable as the rest of the kennel. Diesel the Bulldog has bark and bite. Constructing his body is pretty straightforward, but his head has a few unique characteristics that are worth noting. Diesel's head consists of two parts. Let's start with the first and smallest part, the inside of his mouth. After pre-folding all of the scores, tuck the front edge in and set this piece aside. Before you begin pre-folding the scores on this piece, you may notice that there are two tabs that are unlike the others. Please leave these unfolded, as they will be used later on to attach Diesel's head to his body. Let's start by folding in the lower half of his head. These two tabs fold into the jaw, and then the whole piece is flipped over. These two tabs slide into the jaw, closing up this half. We can now take our mouthpiece that we put to the side and slide the remaining two middle tabs into it. Leave the open side facing out, as the top of his head will fold over to close up this hole. Slide the two tabs to the side of Diesel's eyes into the inner mouthpiece to complete the construction. Now, using the two remaining tabs, slide Diesel's head into his body. And don't forget to throw this dog a bone. Ginger is a pretty laid-back pug that only requires a little bit of extra attention. After pre-folding all of the scores and assembling his body, make sure to open the tab holes around the top and bottom of his head to accommodate the smaller tabs. When you finish folding Ginger's head, gently place it into his body, sit back, cuddle, and watch a movie. This fun-loving retriever is always up for anything. Just don't forget to loosen the notches on her bandana so that she looks stylish playing fetch on the beach. Axel is a globetrotter who's always on a roll. Speaking of which, make sure to roll the top of his head over your finger. You may find it easiest to insert his tongue into the snout before attaching it to his head. Now get set to be jet set.